Philosophy, often defined as the love of wisdom, is a discipline that rigorously examines the fundamental dimensions of human existence, experience, and reality. It is a rational, methodical, and abstract pursuit of understanding the world and our place in it. This discipline has been influential in shaping societies, ideologies, and individual perspectives throughout history, playing a crucial role in guiding human thought and destiny. At its core, philosophy explores logic, ethics, and foundational principles. These ideas aren't just abstract theories, but deeply intertwined with how civilizations develop and progress. From the nature of existence to the structure of the universe, philosophical inquiries have formed the bedrock of many academic disciplines, including science, politics, religion, and law. Philosophy questions the nature of reality, the existence of the self, and the rules by which society should function. This exploration extends across time, from ancient civilizations to the modern era, evolving with new discoveries, ideas, and challenges. By focusing on key philosophers and their distinct contributions, we can gain a clearer understanding of the ideas that have shaped human thinking across different eras. In this video, we will delve into the thoughts of several key philosophers, exploring their main ideas and their lasting impact on modern thought. Democritus, Atoms and Empty Space. One of the earliest philosophical contributions to our understanding of the universe came from Democritus, a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher. His ideas laid the groundwork for atomic theory, a concept that would not be fully realized until centuries later with modern science. Democritus argued that everything that exists in the universe is composed of tiny, indivisible particles called atoms, and between these atoms is empty space. This idea was revolutionary for its time, as it moved away from attributing natural phenomena to the actions of gods or divine forces. Instead, Democritus's ideas framed the universe as a mechanical system governed by the interactions of atoms, with no need for supernatural explanations. This materialistic view of the world, which suggests that everything from the human mind to the stars is composed of atoms, was foundational for later scientific exploration. Democritus's ideas were pivotal in the development of modern chemistry and physics. His belief that all phenomena could be explained through the movement and interaction of atoms is echoed in John Dalton's atomic theory of the 19th century, a cornerstone of modern chemistry. While Democritus did not have the technological tools to prove his theories, his ideas about atoms and space remain central to our understanding of matter. His thinking also inspired a scientific method that relied on observation and reasoning rather than myth and superstition, setting the stage for the empirical sciences. Pythagoras, mathematics as the structure of the universe. Pythagoras is best known for the Pythagorean theorem in geometry, but his contributions to philosophy extend far beyond mathematics. For Pythagoras, numbers were not just a mathematical tool, but the fundamental principle of the universe. He believed that mathematics could explain everything in existence, from the harmony of music to the movement of celestial bodies. Pythagoras' belief that the universe is structured around numbers led him to view mathematics as the purest form of philosophy. He posited that mathematical constants and ratios are universal truths, unchanging and omnipresent throughout the cosmos. For him, numbers were the key to unlocking the mysteries of reality. This philosophical perspective aligns with the modern understanding of the universe, where mathematical equations describe the laws of physics, from quantum mechanics to the theory of relativity. The idea that mathematics is a universal language is still widely accepted in the scientific community. In fact, if humans were to encounter an alien civilization, it is widely believed that mathematics would be the first and most effective means of communication. Patterns in mathematical symbols are likely to transcend linguistic and cultural barriers, providing a common framework for understanding. This idea that math is the underlying structure of the universe continues to influence fields as diverse as cosmology, physics, and even philosophy itself. Voltaire, the certainty of uncertainty. Voltaire was a prominent Enlightenment thinker known for his wit, criticism of religion, and defense of civil liberties. His philosophical contributions were deeply rooted in skepticism, particularly concerning the certainty of human knowledge. Voltaire argued that all human knowledge is subject to revision and that certainty is an illusion. Every theory, idea, and belief, including religious and scientific ones, could be challenged and tested. He was a firm believer in the power of doubt as a tool for progress. Voltaire's skepticism laid the groundwork for the scientific method, which relies on the continuous questioning and testing of hypotheses. He believed that today's truths might be disproven tomorrow as new evidence emerges. This approach to knowledge has been critical in the advancement of science, especially during crises such as the coronavirus pandemic, where scientists continuously revised treatments and strategies as new data became available. Voltaire's emphasis on the uncertainty of knowledge reminds us that intellectual humility is essential in any field of inquiry. His philosophy encourages an open-minded approach to knowledge, where doubt is not seen as a weakness but as a strength that drives progress. Descartes, certainty through doubt. While Voltaire embraced uncertainty, René Descartes sought to find certainty through doubt. Known as the father of modern philosophy, Descartes introduced the concept of methodic doubt, a systematic approach to questioning all beliefs to find those that are absolutely certain. His famous declaration, "I think, therefore I am," encapsulates his approach. Descartes argued that the very act of doubting one's existence proves that one exists, as there must be a thinking entity for doubt to occur. Descartes' methodic doubt laid the foundation for modern philosophy and science, encouraging a critical approach to knowledge. By discarding beliefs that could not be proven beyond doubt, Descartes believed we could arrive at truths that are indubitable. His emphasis on reason and logic influenced the development of the scientific method and continues to shape how we approach philosophical and scientific questions today. Descartes' search for certainty through doubt also had profound implications for epistemology, the study of knowledge. His work raised important questions about the nature of reality, perception, and the self, which continue to be explored by philosophers and scientists alike. Socrates, the Socratic method, and the power of questions. Socrates, one of the most famous philosophers of ancient Greece, is best known for his method of questioning, now called the Socratic method. Socrates believed that asking probing questions was the key to uncovering truth. Rather than simply providing answers, he encouraged his students to critically examine their own beliefs and assumptions through dialogue. The Socratic method is not about finding definitive answers, but about identifying contradictions and weaknesses in one's reasoning. By continually asking questions, Socrates aimed to reveal the limitations of human knowledge and to push individuals toward deeper understanding. This method has been used in various fields, from law to education to science, as a way to test the validity of arguments and ideas. Socrates' approach to philosophy emphasizes the importance of critical thinking and self-examination. His method challenges us to question not only what we know, but how we know it. This practice of inquiry has become a cornerstone of Western philosophy and education, encouraging individuals to seek wisdom through continuous questioning. Immanuel Kant, the limits of knowledge. Immanuel Kant made significant contributions to epistemology, particularly with his exploration of the limits of human knowledge. Kant argued that while knowledge originates from sensory experience, empiricism, our understanding of the world is also shaped by the mind's innate structures, rationalism. He believed that humans can only know the world as it appears to us through our senses and mental faculties, not as it exists in itself. Kant's philosophy suggests that there are limits to what we can know. Our perception of reality is constrained by our sensory and cognitive abilities, meaning there are aspects of the world that are beyond our comprehension. This idea has profound implications for science and philosophy, as it acknowledges that human knowledge is inherently limited. Kant also explored the idea of universal moral laws, arguing that morality is grounded in reason. He believed that humans possess an innate sense of right and wrong, which guides our actions. His work on ethics and morality continues to influence philosophical thought, particularly in the fields of ethics and political philosophy. Karl Marx, Class Struggles and Materialism. Karl Marx is best known for his critique of capitalism and his theory of historical materialism. Marx argued that human history is defined by class struggles, particularly between the ruling class and the working class. He believed that these struggles were driven by the unequal distribution of resources, and that they would eventually lead to the overthrow of the bourgeoisie by the proletariat. Marx's ideas about class conflict have had a profound impact on political philosophy and economic theory. His work laid the foundation for socialism and communism, advocating for the collective ownership of resources and the means of production. While Marx's predictions about the fall of capitalism have not come to pass in the way he envisioned, his analysis of class dynamics and power structures remains relevant in discussions about inequality and social justice. Marx's emphasis on material conditions as the driving force of history also influenced the development of historical materialism, a framework for understanding how economic and social structures shape human behavior and societal change. His work continues to be studied and debated, particularly in the fields of economics, political science, and sociology. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Sun Tzu, a Chinese military strategist, is best known for his treatise, The Art of War, a guide to strategy and warfare that has been influential far beyond the battlefield. Sun Tzu expressed the importance of adaptability, intelligence, and understanding one's enemy. He argued that the best way to win a war is to avoid conflict whenever possible, and that the greatest victories are those achieved without fighting. His emphasis on flexibility and knowing when to act or refrain from acting continues to be a valuable lesson in leadership and decision-making. Sun Tzu's philosophy reminds us that success often comes from careful planning, patience, and the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. The Art of War remains a widely read and studied text, offering timeless insights into strategy, leadership, and the nature of conflict. Niccolò Machiavelli, The End Justifies the Means. Niccolò Machiavelli is one of the most controversial and influential political philosophers of the Renaissance. He is best known for his treatise, The Prince, which articulates his pragmatic approach to governance. Machiavelli believed that the success of the state should be the ultimate goal of a ruler, and to achieve this, rulers must sometimes abandon traditional moral principles. His famous phrase, "The end justifies the means," encapsulates the idea that achieving a desired outcome can legitimize actions that might be considered immoral under normal circumstances. Machiavelli's philosophy has been both criticized and admired. On the one hand, it provided a realistic, sometimes ruthless view of politics that many rulers and leaders have adopted, especially in times of war or crisis. Leaders like Napoleon and Hitler were influenced by Machiavelli's ideas, with the latter reportedly keeping a copy of The Prince by his bedside. On the other hand, Machiavelli's philosophy is seen as a slippery slope, as it can be used to justify unethical actions in pursuit of power or glory. Despite this, Machiavelli's work remains a cornerstone of political theory, teaching that moral compromise is sometimes a necessary part of leadership. Martin Luther, religious authoritarianism is flawed. Martin Luther was the catalyst for the Protestant Reformation, a movement that fundamentally challenged the authority of the Roman Catholic Church. Luther's main objection was to the Church's practice of selling indulgences, monetary payments in exchange for reduced punishment for sins, a system that he saw as corrupt and exploitative. In 1517, Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Wittenberg Church, igniting widespread debate. Luther's radical idea was that salvation could not be earned through good deeds or monetary payments, but was instead a free gift from God, accessible through faith alone. This notion undermined the Church's hierarchical structure, as it suggested that individuals did not need intermediaries to access God's grace. His translation of the Bible into German further democratized access to religious knowledge, allowing common people to engage directly with the Scriptures without relying on the clergy. The Reformation not only transformed Christianity, but also had profound effects on European politics, law, and culture. It empowered individuals to challenge authority and laid the groundwork for the development of modern democratic and individualistic principles. David Hume, "The sun always rises, but experience is my reality." David Hume was a Scottish philosopher who emphasized empiricism, the idea that knowledge arises from sensory experience. He questioned the certainty of knowledge derived from reason alone, arguing that we can never know anything with absolute certainty beyond what we have directly experienced. Hume famously illustrated his theory with the example of the rising sun. While we expect the sun to rise every morning based on past experience, there is no logical guarantee that it will do so tomorrow. This skepticism of inductive reasoning challenges the assumption that past events can reliably predict future outcomes. Hume's philosophy has influenced fields like science and economics. His ideas about the unpredictability of certain events resonate with the concept of black swan, rare events that have profound consequences, like the 2008 financial crisis or the COVID-19 pandemic. Hume's empirical skepticism encourages us to acknowledge the limits of human knowledge and be cautious about assuming certainty where it cannot be proven. Francis Bacon, knowledge is power. Francis Bacon was a philosopher and statesman who argued that human knowledge comes from sensory experience and that it should be gained through systematic experimentation. Bacon is often credited with developing the scientific method, a rigorous approach to discovery that involves observation, experimentation, and the accumulation of knowledge over time. For him, knowledge was not an end in itself, but a tool for improving the human condition through the development of new technologies, laws, and institutions. Bacon's ideas laid the groundwork for the Enlightenment and the eventual rise of modern science. In a broader sense, his views have influenced many areas beyond science, particularly in politics, business, and education, where the idea that knowledge and information grant power has become a guiding principle. Hannah Arendt, The Banality of Evil. Hannah Arendt is most well known for her exploration of the nature of evil in her book Eichmann in Jerusalem, a report on the banality of evil. After attending the trial of Adolf Eichmann, one of the architects of the Holocaust, Arendt observed that Eichmann was not a fanatical monster, but a bureaucrat who followed orders without questioning the moral implications of his actions. Arendt coined the term the banality of evil to describe how ordinary individuals, like Eichmann, can become agents of great harm simply by failing to think critically about their actions. She argued that evil often manifests not in grand, overtly malevolent figures, but in ordinary people who unthinkingly participate in destructive systems. This concept has resonated widely, influencing discussions about responsibility, authority, and morality, especially in the context of totalitarian regimes and large bureaucracies. It reminds us that evil can arise from passivity and thoughtlessness, making critical reflection on our actions and their consequences essential. Michel Foucault, The Genealogy of Ideas. Michel Foucault was a French philosopher who examined how human knowledge and societal norms change over time. Rather than focusing on what it means to be human in an abstract sense, Foucault studied how concepts like madness, sexuality, and criminality have been constructed throughout history. Foucault argued that what we consider to be truth or knowledge is often a product of historical forces, shaped by power structures and social institutions. For example, he examined how the definition of mental illness has evolved, showing that what was once considered madness is now understood as treatable psychological conditions. His work challenges the idea of universal truths, suggesting that all knowledge is contextual, bound by the specific social, political, and historical realities of its time. Foucault's ideas have been influential in fields like sociology, cultural studies, and political theory, particularly in discussions about how power shapes knowledge and human experience. Future of philosophy. As humanity faces new technological and ethical dilemmas, philosophy remains a crucial tool for addressing complex questions. Whether it's artificial intelligence gaining consciousness, the ethical challenges of uploading human minds into digital simulations, or programming self-driving cars to make life and death decisions, philosophical frameworks help us navigate these unprecedented scenarios. Just as past thinkers like Machiavelli, Luther, Hume, and Foucault provided frameworks for understanding their times, contemporary philosophers will be needed to address the ethical questions of our rapidly changing world. As we move forward, philosophy will continue to guide our understanding of reality, ethics, and human progress. Hey there, YouTube fans! Do you want access to amazing content? Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Stay updated with all our latest videos. Join our community of awesome subscribers. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.